I bought the RV 3 months before everything fell apart. A 2019 Winnebago Travato, fully loaded, solar panels on the roof, water filtration system. The works. My buddies at work called it a midlife crisis on wheels. I was 38, divorced, no kids, and I'd just gotten a decent settlement from the split. Sarah kept the house. I kept my sanity and bought the RV. I named it Freedom. Should have named it Coffin. The first day the news started reporting incidents, I was parked at a rest stop outside Bakersfield. Just me, the open road, and a cooler full of beer I was working through at a responsible pace. The TV in the RV, yeah, it had a TV. A nice flat screen that pulled down from the ceiling kept showing the same footage. Riots in Los Angeles, some kind of infection, officials recommending people stay indoors. I remember thinking it was probably overblown, media panic. Remember SARS? Remember Ebola? Remember every single "this is it" moment that turned out to be nothing? This wasn't nothing. By day 3, the rest stop was a madhouse. People screaming, cars peeling out, someone got trampled trying to get into the convenience store. I watched from my RV window, engine already running, trying to decide which direction to go. The highway north was parking lot. South was worse. A woman ran past my window with blood streaming down her face, and behind her came something that used to be a man. I'd seen the footage by then. We all had. The attacks, the biting, the way people who got bitten got sick and then got up again is something else. But seeing it on TV and seeing it 10 feet from your vehicle are two different universes of experience. The thing that used to be a man moved wrong, jerky, aggressive. It caught the woman by her hair and pulled her down, and I locked my doors and threw the RV into gear and drove over the curb, through the grass median, and onto the southbound lane going north. I drove for 6 hours straight, watching my fuel gauge drop, listening to the radio stations die one by one. First, they went to emergency broadcasts, then static, then nothing. That was 2 months ago. Now I'm parked in what used to be a campground near Lake Isabella. It's October, I think. I've lost track of days. The solar panels keep my battery charged. The water tank is half full. I've got maybe 3 weeks of food if I'm careful, less if I'm honest with myself about portion sizes. The infected are everywhere. I call them infected because zombie sounds stupid when you're actually living through it. Zombies are movies. Zombies are Halloween costumes. These things are real, and they're not slow like the movies promised. They're fast when they want to be, erratic. They don't seem to feel pain, and they never ever stop looking for you. The campground is on a hill overlooking the lake. There used to be 30 or 40 RVs here, families on vacation, retirees living the dream. Now there's just mine and 2 others. One of them is burned out, just a black shell. I watched it happen. Someone inside tried to make a run for it at night, knocked over a propane lantern, and the whole thing went up like a torch. The screaming stopped pretty quick. The other RV, a big Class A motorhome about 50 yards from me, hasn't moved in 3 weeks. I don't know if anyone's inside. I don't go check. Going outside is a death sentence unless absolutely necessary. My RV is perfect for this, which is the kind of ironic that makes you laugh until you're crying. It's got everything you need to live off-grid. The solar panels charge a lithium battery bank that powers the lights, the water pump, the refrigerator, everything. As long as the sun keeps shining, I've got electricity. The fresh water tank holds 33 gallons. The gray water tank, the one that collects sink and shower water, holds the same. The black water tank, the one I try not to think about, holds the toilet waste and can go about a week before it needs emptying. Right now, it's been 9 days. The smell is getting bad. I'm rationing water, so I'm not flushing much. Each flush uses about a pint of water, and I can't waste it. I've been pissing in bottles when I can, dumping them out the window after dark. The window on the passenger side faces away from the other RV and toward the tree line, where I've seen less activity. It's 3 p.m. right now, and I'm sitting at the dinette table, this clever little setup that converts into a bed, writing in a notebook I found in one of the overhead cabinets. It still had the price tag on it. Sarah must have bought it, planning to journal our trips together. We took exactly 2 trips before she decided she wanted the divorce. The windows of the RV have blackout shades, but I keep them open a crack during the day so I can see outside. I need to know what's happening. The campground is quiet right now. They're more active at night, the infected. During the day, they tend to wander, but they're less aggressive. At night, it's like something switches on in whatever's left of their brains. I can see 3 of them from here. 2 are down by the lakeshore, just standing in the water. They've been there since this morning. They don't seem to care that they're waist-deep in cold water. The 3rd one is closer, maybe 20 yards away, circling the burned-out RV over and over. It's wearing the remains of a park ranger uniform. I think it might be the guy who checked me in when I first arrived, the one who told me the bathroom facilities were closed for maintenance, but I could use the ones at the marina. There is no more marina. It burned too. My stomach growls. I ate breakfast 6 hours ago, half a can of soup warmed on the propane stove. I'm trying to eat twice a day now instead of 3 times. The propane will last longer than the food will. I've got 2 20-pound tanks, and I've been careful with them. One is completely full. The other is about 3/4. The stove barely uses any propane. It's the furnace I worry about. The temperature dropped below freezing last night. I heard it in the way the RV creaked, the way the windows fogged with my breath. I ran the furnace for 2 hours to take the edge off, but I was shaking the whole time, listening to that propane burn, doing math in my head. How many cold nights can I afford? What happens when both tanks are empty and it's December, January, February? I don't let myself think that far ahead. The refrigerator runs on electricity from the battery bank, which runs on solar, which means it's basically free. But a refrigerator is only useful if you have things that need refrigerating. I've got half a jar of mayo that's probably already questionable, some ketchup, a bottle of hot sauce, and 3 beers I'm saving for an occasion I can't yet imagine. Everything else is canned goods, dried goods, things that were already in the RV from my trip, or that I grabbed during the first panicked days when stores were being looted. I've got canned soup, canned vegetables, canned fruit, canned tuna, canned chicken, boxes of pasta, rice, dried beans, oatmeal, protein bars, and 1 extremely optimistic bag of marshmallows. I don't know why I grabbed the marshmallows. Who needs marshmallows during the apocalypse? But I've got them, and sometimes I eat one when things feel especially bleak, and the sugar helps. The water situation is more complicated. 33 gallons sounds like a lot until you realize how fast it goes. Drinking, cooking, washing dishes, washing hands, washing your face, brushing your teeth, flushing the toilet. I'm using maybe 2 gallons a day, which means the tank will be empty in 16 days. But I've got a plan for that. The RV's water filtration system can purify lake water. It's got a pump and a filter that removes bacteria, protozoa, all the nasty stuff. I tested it once, just after I bought the RV, filtering some questionable-looking pond water. It came out clear and tasted fine. The problem is getting to the lake. It's maybe 70 yards from my RV to the water's edge, 70 yards of open ground, and then I'd have to stand there exposed while the pump does its work. 5 minutes? 10? With those things wandering around? I haven't tried it yet. I keep thinking I'll wait until I absolutely have to, until the tank is bone dry and I don't have a choice. But I also know that waiting too long is how people die. You wait until you're desperate, until you're weak from dehydration, and then you don't have the strength or focus to do what needs to be done. Tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow morning early when they're least active. I've been telling myself that for 3 days. Outside, the sun is starting its slow descent. The shadows are getting longer. In another 2 hours, it'll be dark. And then the real nightmare starts. The scratching, the moaning. They gather around the RV at night like moths around a light. I don't know if they know I'm in here or if they're just drawn to the vehicle itself. Maybe they remember what RVs mean. Safety, shelter, humanity. I keep every light off after dark. I've got a small LED headlamp that I use if I absolutely need to see something. and I keep it pointed down away from the windows. I move slowly. I breathe quietly. I've learned that sound attracts them more than anything. Last week, I dropped a can of beans at 2 a.m. It hit the floor with a bang that seemed to echo forever in the small space. Within 30 seconds, they were swarming. I counted 12 of them pressed against the RV, rocking it slightly, their hands slapping the aluminum siding, their faces pressed to the windows. I sat frozen at the dinette table, headlamp off, barely breathing, watching their silhouettes against the moonlight. They stayed for 40 minutes. I haven't dropped anything since. The RV is surprisingly solid. The door locks from the inside with a deadbolt. The windows are double-paned and latched. I've reinforced the door with a security bar I found in the storage compartment underneath. The previous owner must have been worried about break-ins at campgrounds. The RV also has an alarm system, though I've never activated it. The sound would be like ringing a dinner bell. I spend a lot of time thinking about structural weak points. The windows are the obvious concern. They're not designed to withstand a serious assault. But the infected don't seem smart enough to coordinate. They push and slap and moan, but they don't use tools. They don't break things strategically. Not yet, anyway. I've heard stories on the CB radio, back when there were still people broadcasting. Stories about the infected learning, turning doorknobs, opening gates. One guy claimed he saw them working together to flip a car that someone was hiding under. I don't know if I believe it, but I don't disbelieve it either. The CB radio is mounted above the driver's seat. I listen to it every day, scanning through all 40 channels, hoping to hear a voice, human voice, something other than static and the occasional burst of automated emergency broadcast that still loops in some forgotten station. 3 days ago, I heard someone, a woman. She was crying, begging for help, giving coordinates I didn't recognize. I tried to respond, but my signal must not have reached her. Or maybe it did, and she just couldn't afford to stay on long enough to hear my reply. The transmission cut off mid-sentence. I haven't heard her since. The sun is touching the horizon now. The lake has turned orange and gold. Beautiful in the way that things are beautiful when you know you might never see them again. I close the notebook and tuck it into the cabinet above the dinette. I've been writing more lately. It helps, keeps my mind busy, reminds me that I'm still human, still capable of thoughts beyond fear and hunger and survival. I move to the front of the RV, to the captain's chair behind the steering wheel, and I check the gauges out of habit. Fuel is just under half a tank. I could drive for hours if I needed to, but where would I go? Every direction is the same now. Infected, empty towns, burned buildings, silence. The battery bank is at 94%. Good. Tomorrow will be sunny again, according to the weather radio that still broadcasts automated forecasts like the world didn't end. The solar panels will top off the battery by noon. I allow myself a small luxury. I reach up and press the button for the ceiling fan above the dinette. It whirs to life, circulating the stale air. The RV smells like sweat and canned food, and the underlying reek of the toilet tank that I really, really need to empty soon. The fan helps. Not much, but some. As the light fades, I eat dinner. Another half can of soup, this time chicken noodle. I warm it slowly on the stove, standing there in the gathering darkness, watching the flame dance under the pot. The blue glow of the propane flame is hypnotic. I stir the soup with a fork. I'm down to 3 forks, 2 spoons, and 1 knife. And I think about all the dinners I had before this, restaurants, takeout, meals I barely tasted because I was looking at my phone. I'd give anything for a burger right now, a real burger, greasy and hot, with fries and a Coke so cold it hurts your teeth. I eat the soup straight from the pot to save washing a bowl. Water conservation. Every drop matters. After dinner, I wash the pot and fork with maybe half a cup of water, scrubbing them with a rag that's becoming more gray than white. I dump the gray water into the gray tank and make a note in my head. 2 more days, and that tank will be full too. Then, I'll have to empty both the gray and the black at the same time. The dump station is on the other side of the campground. Might as well be on the moon. Full dark now. I close all the blackout shades completely, sealing myself into the artificial night of the RV's interior. I don't turn on any lights. I sit in the driver's chair and I wait. They come with the darkness. I hear them before I see them, the shuffle of feet on gravel. The low moaning that raises every hair on my body, no matter how many times I've heard it. A scraping sound, like something being dragged. I peek through a tiny gap in the shade over the windshield. There are 5 of them in the clearing now, where this afternoon there was only the ranger. They move in their strange way, purposeful but aimless at the same time. One of them is small, a child, maybe 10 years old. It's wearing pajamas with cartoon characters on them. The pajamas are stained with things I don't let myself identify. My throat tightens. I look away. The ranger is circling my RV now, closer than before. 10 yards, 8. It's sniffing the air. Do they hunt by smell? I don't know. I've made sure not to cook anything with a strong odor, nothing that would carry. But maybe it smells me anyway. Sweat. Fear. Life. It reaches the RV. Its hand touches the side, just below the window where I'm sitting. I hear the scrape of fingernails on aluminum. I hold my breath. The RV shifts slightly on its suspension as the thing leans its weight against it. I'm gripping the armrests of the chair so hard my knuckles are white. My heart is a drum in my ears. I tell myself it can't get in. The door is locked. The windows are secure. I'm safe. I don't feel safe. More of them gather. I lose count. 8? 10? They're all around the RV now, a shuffling circle of the dead. The sounds they make aren't quite human and aren't quite animal. It's worse than either. It's the sound of something that's forgotten what it was. This goes on for an hour. Eventually, for reasons I don't understand, they drift away. First one, then another, until the clearing is empty again except for the distant shapes down by the lake. I stay frozen in the chair for another 30 minutes, listening, waiting for them to come back. They don't. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. This is every night. This exact pattern. They come. They surround the RV. They eventually leave. It's becoming routine, which is the most disturbing part. I'm getting used to being hunted. I force myself to stand, to move, to do something other than sit in the dark, imagining the moment when they finally figure out how to get inside. I navigate the RV by feel, my hands knowing every surface, every cabinet, every corner. I reach the dinette, and I sit down and I pull out a deck of cards from the drawer. Solitaire. Game after game in the darkness. The cards barely visible in the faint moonlight that seeps through the gaps in the shades. I don't know why I play. Maybe to prove I still can. Maybe to keep my hands busy so they don't shake. I play until I'm tired enough to sleep. The dinette converts into a bed, a process that takes about 30 seconds. You lower the table, arrange the cushions, and suddenly you have a sleeping surface that's surprisingly comfortable. I've got a sleeping bag rated to 20 degrees. It's warm enough for now. I lie in the darkness, listening to the RV settle and creak. Every sound is amplified at night. The wind against the siding, the distant splash of something in the lake, my own breathing. I think about Sarah. I wonder if she's alive. We weren't on good terms when things ended, but I don't wish her dead. I hope she's somewhere safe. I hope she found shelter. I hope she's not one of those things outside. I think about my parents retired in Phoenix. I think about my sister in Portland. I think about everyone I've ever known, and I wonder how many of them are still alive. Not many. Probably. Maybe none. I'm drifting off when I hear it. A new sound. Not the moaning, not the shuffling. This is different. Crying. Human crying. I'm bolt upright instantly, heart racing. I strain my ears trying to locate the source. It's coming from outside, somewhere to the left of the RV, toward the other motorhome, the one that hasn't moved in 3 weeks. Someone's in there. Someone alive. I debate for about 10 seconds. Then I'm moving to the window, carefully lifting the edge of the blackout shade just enough to see out. The moon is 3/4 full tonight, bright enough to cast shadows. I can see the Class A motorhome 50 yards away. It's bigger than mine, one of those massive rigs that costs more than a house. The crying is coming from there, I'm certain now. It's high-pitched, desperate. A child. There's a child in there. My hand goes to the door lock without thinking. I stop myself. What am I doing? I can't go out there. It's suicide. There are at least 3 infected visible in the clearing, and who knows how many others in the darkness. I'd never make it 50 yards. The crying continues. It's getting louder, panicked. And then I see why. The infected are gathering around the Class A motorhome, drawn by the sound. There are 6 of them now. 8. They're converging on it from all directions, and the child inside is screaming now, full-throated terror. I watch, paralyzed, as they surround the motorhome. They're pawing at it, slapping the sides, pressing against the windows. One of them finds the door. It's pulling on the handle. The door opens. Oh God, the door wasn't locked. The screaming reaches a pitch that cuts right through me, and then it stops. Just stops. The infected pile into the motorhome, one after another, a feeding frenzy. I can see the vehicle rocking on its suspension, shadows moving inside behind the curtain windows. I lower the shade, I back away from the window. I sit down on the dinette bed, and I put my head in my hands, and I try not to vomit. There was a child in there, alive. For 3 weeks, there was someone else alive 50 yards from me. And I never knew. And now they're gone. I don't sleep the rest of the night. When dawn comes, gray and cold, I'm still sitting there. My body aches, my eyes burn, I feel hollowed out. The infected have dispersed with the daylight, the clearing is empty. The Class A motorhome sits silent and still. But I know what's inside it now. I won't be going to check, I won't be going anywhere. I force myself through the morning routine because routine is the only thing keeping me sane. I drink a bottle of water, I eat a protein bar that tastes like cardboard. I check the battery level, 89%. It'll come back up as the sun gets higher. I check the propane gauge, I check the water tank, 22 gallons left. I need to fill it today. The thought sits in my stomach like a stone. I've been putting it off, but last night changed something. I can't keep waiting. If I wait too long, if I get too weak, I'll end up like that child. Screaming in the darkness until the darkness comes inside. I'm going to the lake. I spend the next hour preparing. I find every container in the RV that can hold water. 2 empty plastic juice jugs, a collapsible camping bucket, a cooking pot. If I'm going to risk my life going to the lake, I'm going to make it count. I'll fill the main tank and I'll fill every backup container I have. I check the water pump and filter system. It's a fancy setup, mounted under the sink. There's an intake hose that drops down through a panel in the floor. I've never used it, never deployed it. I read the manual now for the 3rd time, making sure I understand. Drop the hose into the water source. Prime the pump. It'll take about 10 minutes to fill the tank. 10 minutes at the lakeshore. Exposed, vulnerable. I'll go at 7 a.m. early. They're less active in the morning. I tell myself this over and over. I debate weapons. The RV didn't come with much. A tire iron, a screwdriver, a small hammer. I've got a pocket knife. Nothing that would do much good against multiple infected. But I take the tire iron anyway. It's heavy, solid. Maybe it'll buy me a second if I need it. At 6:55, I'm standing at the door, hard hammering, tire iron in one hand, intake hose coiled in the other. I'm wearing my boots, jeans, a jacket, layers, protection. I'm sweating despite the cold. I unlock the door. The deadbolt slides back with a click that seems too loud. I count to 10. Then, I open the door. The morning air hits my face, cold and fresh and unfiltered by the RV's stale atmosphere. I forgot what outside smells like. Pine trees, lake water, wood smoke from somewhere distant. And underneath it all, the smell of rot. I step down from the RV, my boots hitting gravel. I close the door behind me quietly, not all the way, but enough. If I need to get back inside fast, I don't want to fumble with the door handle. The clearing is empty. I scan the tree line. Nothing. The lake is down the slope, 70 yards. I can see the water glinting in the early sun. I start walking. Each step is agony. My whole body is screaming at me to turn around, get back in the RV, lock the door. But I keep moving. The gravel crunches under my boots. I'm trying to walk quietly, but speed matters too. Compromise. Quick, but careful. 40 yards, 30, movement to my right. I freeze. It's one of them, standing in the shadow of a pine tree. The ranger. It's facing away from me, swaying slightly. I don't think it's seen me. I wait. 20 seconds, 30. It doesn't turn. I keep moving, angling slightly left to put more distance between us. 20 yards from the water now. 15. The shore is rocky here, sloping down into the lake. The water is clear enough that I can see the bottom for the first few feet. It looks clean. Safe. I try not to think about what might be upstream. I kneel at the water's edge and I uncoil the intake hose. The pump is back in the RV under the sink. The hose is long enough to reach the water from here. I drop the weighted end into the lake, watching it sink. Now comes the hard part. I have to go back to the RV, turn on the pump, and wait while it does its work. 10 minutes of standing here or there, exposed either way. I make a decision. I'll fill the backup containers first. That way, if something happens, if I have to run, at least I'll have some water. I dip the first jug into the lake, watching the water pour in. It's so cold it makes my hand ache. I fill it to the brim and I cap it. 5 gallons, maybe. I set it aside and grab the next one. That's when I hear the sound behind me. I spin around. The ranger is 10 feet away and closing. Its face is gray-white, eyes filmed over but focused on me with terrible intensity. Its mouth is open, showing teeth stained dark. It's moving fast. I drop the jug. Water spills across the rocks. I'm backpedaling, my hand tightening on the tire iron, and I know I'm about to die. The ranger lunges. I swing the tire iron without thinking, a wild arc that connects with the side of its head. There's a wet crunch. The ranger staggers but doesn't go down. It's reaching for me, and I can smell it now. Death and decay and wrongness. I swing again. This time, I aim for the temple, putting all my strength into it. The tire iron caves in the side of its skull, and the ranger drops like a puppet with cut strings. I'm gasping, adrenaline flooding my system. My hands are shaking so badly I nearly drop the tire iron. The ranger is twitching on the ground, its legs moving in a running motion, even though it's not going anywhere. I raise the tire iron again and I bring it down on its head over and over until it stops moving. Silence. I stand there, breathing hard, looking down at what I've done. I've killed someone. Something. I don't know what to call it anymore. And I don't have time to process it because there's more movement in the tree line. The sounds of the fight have drawn others. I see 2 more infected emerging from the trees. 50 yards out. They're not running yet, but they're coming this way. I grab the jug I filled, leave the rest, and I run for the RV. My lungs are burning. The jug is heavy and awkward and slowing me down. I can hear them behind me, the wet sounds of their movement, the moaning. 30 yards to the RV. 20. The jug slips in my grip. I'm going to drop it. I can't drop it. I adjust my hold, and I keep running. 10 yards. I'm at the door. I wrench it open, throw the jug inside, and I'm climbing in when hands grab my jacket from behind. I scream and kick backward, my boot connecting with something soft. The grip releases, and I'm inside, slamming the door, throwing the deadbolt. Something slams into the door a second later, then again. They're here. I'm on the floor of the RV, gasping, my heart trying to punch through my ribcage. The door is shaking with their impacts, but it's holding. It's holding. I crawl to the dinette, put my back against the cabinet, and I wait for my heart to slow down. That's when I remember. The intake hose is still in the lake, still attached to the RV's water system. I never turned on the pump. I drag myself to the sink and I flip the switch for the water pump. It whirs to life. I watch the pressure gauge climb. The system is pulling water from the lake, filtering it, filling the tank. It's working. I want to laugh or cry or both. The infected are still outside, hammering on the door, but they'll leave eventually. They always do. And when they're gone, I'll have water. Enough water for another 2 weeks, maybe 3. I killed something today. One of them. It's dead on the shore, and I did that. I don't know how I feel about it. The pump runs for 11 minutes. When it shuts off automatically, the fresh water tank is full, 33 gallons. I also have the 1 jug I managed to bring back, 5 gallons more, 38 gallons total. Maybe a month of water if I'm careful. Worth it. It was worth it. The infected don't leave until early afternoon. 7 of them this time, all drawn by the commotion. They circle the RV, they beat on it, they press their faces to the windows. I sit at the dinette and I play solitaire and I don't look at them. When they finally drift away, I peek outside. The ranger's body is still there, visible from my window. A dark shape on the rocks by the lakeshore. More of them have gathered around it. They're not eating it. Do they eat their own kind? Don't know. They're just standing there, swaying like they're mourning. Or maybe they're just broken machines and there's no meaning to any of it. I spend the rest of the day doing maintenance tasks. I inventory my food again, organizing the cans by type. Soups, vegetables, fruits, meats. I've got maybe 40 cans total, plus the rice, pasta, and oats. If I'm strict about portions, 6 weeks of food. Maybe 8. And then what? I don't think that far ahead. I clean the RV, which mostly means wiping surfaces with a damp rag. I can't waste water on serious cleaning, but keeping things organized helps me feel more in control. I organize the overhead cabinets, consolidating items, making more space. I find things I forgot I had. A first aid kit, a sewing kit, a road atlas from 2015. The road atlas is useless now, but I page through it anyway, looking at the maps of highways and towns. Everything marked so neatly, distance in miles, elevation changes, points of interest. I wonder how many of those towns are empty now. How many of those highways are clogged with abandoned cars? All of them, probably. In the evening, I allow myself a small luxury. I heat water on the stove, not much, maybe 2 cups, and I give myself a sponge bath. Hot water and a washcloth, soap from the dispenser in the bathroom. I wash my face, my neck, under my arms, my feet. It's not a shower, but it's something. I feel almost human again. I look at myself in the small bathroom mirror. I've lost weight. My face is thinner, stubble turning into a beard. My eyes look different, harder, older. I'm 38 years old and I look 50. That night, I don't sleep well. I keep thinking about the child in the Class A motorhome. 3 weeks they survived, alone, and I never knew. Maybe if I'd been paying more attention. Maybe if I'd investigated that RV earlier. Maybe, it doesn't matter. They're gone. The infected return with the darkness, as always. I'm getting better at ignoring them. I lie in the dinette bed, wrapped in my sleeping bag, and I listen to them shuffle and moan outside. It's almost like white noise now. Almost. I drift off sometime after midnight. The next morning is Sunday, I think. Or maybe it's Monday. The days blur together when every day is the same. Wake up, eat sparingly, check the systems, wait, survive, sleep, repeat. I'm running low on things to do. I've read the RV manual front to back 3 times. I've played 1,000 hands of solitaire. I've organized the cabinets, reorganized them, organized them again. I'm so bored I could scream. Boredom is dangerous. It makes you take risks. It makes you think stupid thoughts like, maybe I should try to make it to that gas station 5 miles away, or maybe I should see if anyone's in the other campers. I've learned to recognize the boredom and shut it down. I can't afford stupid decisions. Instead, I write, I filled half the notebook with observations, thoughts, a chronicle of these 2 months. I don't know why I'm writing it. Habit, maybe. Or the hope that someday someone will find it and know that I was here, that I tried. Around noon, something changes. I'm sitting at the dinette, eating a late breakfast, oatmeal cooked with water, no sugar or cinnamon or anything else to make it taste better than paste, when I hear an engine, an actual engine, a vehicle. I drop my spoon, and I'm at the window instantly, pressing my face to the glass. A pickup truck is coming up the campground road, moving slowly. It's a big Ford, lifted suspension, bull bar on the front. There are 3 people in the cab. As I watch, the truck stops about 100 yards away, and 2 men get out. They're alive. Real people. Survivors. I'm already moving toward the door when some instinct stops me. Something's wrong. The way they're moving. The way they're looking around. This isn't a rescue party. This is something else. I watch from the window as the 2 men walk through the campground, peering into RVs, checking doors. One of them tries the door on the burned-out shell, finds it jammed, moves on. The other is carrying something. It takes me a moment to recognize it. A gun. He's got a rifle. The third person, still in the truck, lays on the horn. 3 sharp blasts. The sound echoes across the lake. The men don't react, just keep searching. That's when I understand. They're hunting, not infected. Supplies, fuel, food, water. They're scavengers, and that horn blast was to draw the infected away. Smart, ruthless, dangerous. The infected respond to the horn exactly as expected. They come pouring out of the tree line, out from behind buildings, drawn by the noise. There are dozens of them. But the truck is a safe distance away, engine running, ready to move if needed. The 2 men work fast. They check every RV, every vehicle in the campground. They're getting closer to me. 20 yards, 15. I back away from the window. My mind is racing. Do I reveal myself? Do I ask for help? They've got a vehicle. They've got weapons. Maybe they have a safe place, some supplies, other survivors, or maybe they'll rob me. Maybe they'll take my RV. Maybe they'll do worse. I'm still debating when one of them reaches my RV. He tries the door. It's locked. He peers through the window, but the blackout shades are drawn. He can't see inside. This one's locked, he calls to his partner. Might be someone inside. Check it, the other one replies. The man pounds on the door, 3 heavy blows that shake the whole vehicle. Anyone in there? We're friendly. We're here to help. I don't move. Don't breathe. More pounding. Come on, we know someone's in there. Open up. We've got food, medicine, a safe place to go. Still, I stay silent. The men confer in low voices I can't make out. Then, I hear the distinctive sound of a round being chambered. Last chance, the first man says. Open the door, or we open it for you. My hand goes to the deadbolt. I'm about to unlock it, about to give in, when the truck's horn blares again. But this time, it's different. Frantic. Not 3 short blasts, but one long, continuous wail. The men hear it too. They turn, looking back at the truck. The infected have reached it. There are too many of them. Way too many. They're swarming the truck, surrounding it, climbing onto the hood and roof. The person inside is screaming now. I can hear it even from here. The horn cuts off. The 2 men run. They're fast, but the infected are everywhere now, drawn by the horn, by the commotion. I watch through the gap in the shade as the scene unfolds like a nightmare. One of the men goes down almost immediately, pulled into the mob. His screams last maybe 5 seconds. The other makes it to the truck, yanks open the door, is trying to pull the third person out when the infected drag them both down. It's over in less than a minute. The truck's engine is still running, idling there, surrounded by maybe 50 infected who are tearing apart what's left of the 3 scavengers. I close the shade. I sit down at the dinette. My hands are shaking again. They might have been bad people. They might have been planning to rob me, kill me, take everything I had, but they were human. They were alive. Now, they're not. The infected disperse slowly over the next hour, drifting away from the truck in ones and twos. Some head back into the woods. Others wander down to the lake. A few circle my RV, but without the same intensity as last night. They seem satisfied, fed. I feel sick. By evening, the campground is quiet again. The truck is still there, door hanging open, engine finally dead. I can see dark stains on the ground around it. I don't go to investigate. I don't care what supplies they might have had. It's not worth it. Nothing is worth going out there. That night I lie awake for hours, listening to the sounds outside. The infected are more active than usual, energized by the feeding. I hear them fighting over something. Don't let myself imagine what. The next few days pass in a blur of routine and tension. I ration food. I ration water. I check the systems compulsively. Battery at 92%. Propane tanks still 3/4 full on one, completely full on the other. Fresh water tank at 30 gallons. I'm using about 1.5 gallons per day now. Black water tank is critically full. I can't put off emptying it much longer, but the dump station is across the campground, past the truck with its dark stains, through areas where I've seen infected gather. I spend an entire day psyching myself up for it. I'll go at dawn, I'll be quick, I'll bring the tire iron, I'll do what needs to be done, but when dawn comes, I can't make myself open the door. Not today. Tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. The smell from the black water tank is getting worse. I've stopped using the toilet entirely, using bottles exclusively now, dumping them out the window after dark. But the damage is done. The tank is full, and it's starting to back up. I have to empty it. On the 4th day after the scavengers died, I force myself to prepare. The process for emptying the tanks is straightforward in theory. You drive to the dump station, hook up the sewer hose, open the black tank valve, let it drain, then do the same for the gray tank. Flush the hose. Done. In practice, it means starting the engine, which will draw every infected in the area. It means driving maybe 200 yards through the campground. It means getting out of the RV at the dump station. It means being vulnerable. But I don't have a choice. The black tank situation is reaching critical. And the gray tank is full now too. I can't wash dishes, can't use the sink. I'm at capacity. I spend the morning preparing. I organize the RV so everything is secured. Nothing in the sinks, nothing that can roll or slide. I check the fuel tank. Still just under half. Plenty to get to the dump station and back. I map the route in my head. Straight down the main campground road, past the burned RV, past the Class A motorhome, past the scavenger's truck, to the dump station at the south end. I checked it 2 months ago when I first arrived. It was functional then. No reason it wouldn't be now. No reason except that everything is broken now. At 10 a.m., I'm going during the day when I can see clearly when they're less active. I get into the driver's seat. I buckle my seatbelt, which seems absurd, but habits persist. I put the key in the ignition. I sit there for 5 minutes, hand on the key, unable to turn it. Just turn it. Start the engine. Drive 200 yards. Empty the tanks. Drive back. You've done harder things. Have I, though? I turn the key. The engine roars to life, shattering the silence. The sound seems impossibly loud after 2 months of near silence. The whole RV vibrates with it. Response from the infected is immediate. I see them emerging from everywhere, drawn by the noise. 10, 15, 20. They're converging on the RV from all directions. I don't wait. I throw the transmission into drive and I press the gas. The RV lurches forward. I'm gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles are white. The infected are in front of me. I honk the horn, another huge noise, and most of them scatter. Most, not all. I hit one of them. I feel the thud through the steering wheel, see the body disappear under the front of the RV. I think I run it over. I don't look in the mirror. The road through the campground is narrow, barely wide enough for the RV. Trees and campsites on either side. I'm going maybe 15 miles per hour, afraid to go faster, afraid to slow down. The infected are chasing me now, running alongside, grabbing at the RV as I pass. I drive past the burned shell, past the Class A motorhome where the child died, past the scavenger's truck, and I see that the bodies are still there, or what's left of them, scattered around the vehicle in pieces. I focus on the road. The dump station is ahead. I can see it. A concrete pad with the hookups, a sign that says dump station in friendly Forest Service brown and white. Park-like, civilized, a remnant of the world before. I pull onto the pad and throw the RV into park. The infected are 30 seconds behind me, running up the road. I've got maybe a minute. I grab the sewer hose from the storage compartment. It's a long black hose with connectors on each end, kept in an external bin under the passenger side. My hands are shaking so badly I almost drop it. I attach one end to the RV's sewer outlet, attach the other end to the dump station inlet. The infected are 20 seconds away. I reach under the RV and I open the black tank valve. Nothing happens. No. It has to drain. It has to... Then I hear it. The rush of liquid. It's draining. Slowly, too slowly, but it's working. The infected are here. They swarm the RV, surrounding it, blocking any escape. I'm in the driver's seat, engine still running, watching them through the windshield. There are maybe 30 of them. More coming. The black tank takes 3 minutes to drain. 3 minutes of sitting there, engine idling, infected pressing against every window, their faces smeared against the glass. When I can't hear liquid flowing anymore, I do the gray tank. Another 2 minutes, 5 minutes total. It feels like hours. The hose is still attached. I have to disconnect it, stow it before I can drive away. I look at the infected surrounding the RV. I look at the hose connection, which is on the driver's side, accessible from the door. I'd have to open the door, get out, disconnect the hose, get back in. 2 seconds, maybe 3. That's all it would take for them to get me. I make a decision I'll regret. I leave the hose attached and I put the RV in drive. The hose rips away from the RV with a wet, tearing sound. I leave it there, connected to the dump station, trailing on the ground. $50 of equipment I can't afford to lose, but I'm alive to regret it. I drive through the crowd of infected, honking the horn, swerving around the ones that don't move, hitting the ones that won't. The RV can take it. It's built for rough roads. It can handle a few bodies. I'm back at my campsite in under a minute. I park in the exact same spot I left, throw the RV into park, kill the engine. Silence. Blessed silence. The infected are still at the dump station, milling around, confused. They'll make their way back eventually, but for now, I've got space. I did it. The tanks are empty. I bought myself another 2 weeks, maybe more. The cost, 1 sewer hose, and whatever's left of my sanity. I spend the rest of the day shaking, adrenaline crash. I curl up in the dinette bed, and I just shake and try not to think about the bodies I hit, the sounds they made. By evening, I've mostly recovered. I eat dinner, half a can of beans, cold, because I don't have the energy to cook. I drink water straight from the tank, a full bottle, because I can afford to now. The tank is full, and I know how to fill it again. That night, the infected returned to the RV as always, but I barely noticed them. I'm getting used to it. The sounds of them outside are becoming normal. This is my life now. This is what normal means. 3 weeks pass. I fall into a deeper routine. Wake at dawn, eat a small breakfast, check the systems, write in the notebook, play solitaire, eat dinner, sleep, survive. The weather is getting colder. It's November now, I'm pretty sure. Maybe December. The lake has ice forming at the edges in the mornings. I'm running the furnace more often, 2 hours in the evening, 2 hours before dawn. The propane is going faster than I'd like. The first tank ran out 3 days ago. I switched to the second tank and I did the math. 3 weeks, maybe 4, before this one is gone. And then I'll have no heat. I've been thinking about the scavenger's truck. It's still sitting there, door hanging open. There might be supplies in it, food, fuel, maybe even weapons. But it's been weeks. The infected have been all over it. And it's 100 yards away through open ground, not worth the risk. I keep telling myself that. But I think about it. The food situation is getting critical. I'm down to maybe 15 cans plus the rice and pasta and oats. 2 weeks of food if I'm generous with portions, 3 weeks if I'm not. I've started eating once a day, a full meal in the evening, nothing but water the rest of the time. It's enough to keep me alive, but I'm losing weight fast. My clothes are hanging off me. My belt has new holes punched in it, 3 notches tighter than before. I'm starving slowly. And there's nothing I can do about it. Or maybe there is. The truck. The scavengers were on a supply run. They must have had food with them, water, maybe fuel cans in the bed. I spend 2 days watching the truck from my window, studying the approaches, counting the infected in the area. There are usually 3 or 4 within 50 yards of it during the day, more at night. 3 or 4 I could handle. Maybe, if I'm smart about it. I don't have a choice. I'm going to starve if I don't get more supplies. On a cold Tuesday morning, I think it's Tuesday, I make my decision. I'm going to the truck. I spend the morning preparing like I'm planning a military operation. I pack a backpack I found in one of the overhead bins. It's a school backpack, covered in pins and patches from bands I've never heard of. Must have been Sarah's from college. I pack it with empty water bottles and fold up bags to carry anything I find. I take the tire iron. It's proven itself. The blood from the Ranger is still on it, dried to a dark brown crust. I don't clean it off. It feels like armor somehow, proof I can survive. I eat a full meal, an entire can of soup, a whole protein bar, fuel for what I'm about to do. Drink 2 full bottles of water. I piss before I go. I dress in layers. Long underwear, jeans, 2 shirts, my jacket. Boots, lace tight, gloves. A beanie I find in a drawer. At 9 a.m. I open the door. The morning is clear and cold, my breath fogging. The campground looks peaceful, deceptive. I know better. I count 3 infected in visual range. 1 down by the lake, 1 near the tree line to the east, 1 standing by the burned out RV. Swaying in place, none of them near the truck. I step down from the RV and I close the door behind me, but I don't lock it. If I need to run back, I need to get in fast. I start walking toward the truck, tire iron in my right hand, backpack loose on my shoulders so I can drop it if I need to move fast. 50 yards. My boots crunch on gravel. The sound seems too loud. I'm hyper-aware of everything, the wind in the trees, the lap of water on the shore, my own breathing. 40 yards. The infected by the burned RV turns its head. Is it looking at me? I can't tell from this distance. 30 yards. It's definitely looking at me now. It takes a step in my direction. I speed up. Not running, but faster than a walk. The truck is close now. I can see inside the cab. The seats are torn up, covered in dark stains. The windows are cracked. But the bed of the truck, I can see shapes back there. Containers, boxes, supplies. 20 yards. The infected is moving toward me with purpose now. The others haven't noticed yet, but they will. 10 yards. I reach the truck. I throw the backpack into the bed, and I climb up after it, using the bumper as a step. My boots slip on something wet, but I haul myself up and over. The bed is a treasure trove. 3 5-gallon gas cans, all full by the weight of them. 2 cases of bottled water. A cardboard box full of canned goods. Another box with ammunition, batteries, a flashlight, road flares. I'm grabbing things frantically, shoving them into the backpack. Cans of food, water bottles, batteries. The backpack fills fast. Too fast. I can't carry everything. The infected reaches the truck. It's pawing at the side, looking up at me. The others are coming now too, drawn by the activity. I make a decision. I grab one of the gas cans, 15 pounds of fuel, and I drop it over the side of the truck bed. It hits the ground with a heavy thud. I drop the second gas can, the third. Then, I grab the backpack, now stuffed full and heavy, and I jump down from the truck bed. The infected is right there. I swing the tire iron as I land, catching it in the shoulder, using the momentum to push past it. The tire iron sticks for a second in the thing's jacket, and I have to wrench it free. I'm running now, backpack bouncing against my spine, tire iron in one hand. Behind me, I can hear them giving chase. How many? I don't look back. 30 yards to the RV. 20. I'm not going to make it. The backpack is too heavy. It's slowing me down. I can hear them right behind me. The wet sounds of their breathing, the shuffle of feet. 10 yards. The RV doors hanging open just like I left it. I can see the steps, the interior, safety. 5 yards. Hands grab the backpack. I'm yanked backwards, stumbling. I spin around, swinging the tire iron wildly. It connects with something. There's a crunch. The hands release. I scramble up the steps and into the RV. I'm turning to close the door when I see them. 5 infected, reaching the RV. They're going to get inside before I can close the door. I slam it anyway. The door hits one of them in the face, bounces open. I slam it again and again. The infected is jamming the door with its body, pushing in. I brace my shoulder against the door and I push with everything I have. The infected is strong, but I'm desperate. Slowly, centimeter by centimeter, I force the door closed. There's a wet, crunching sound as the door frame catches the thing's arm. It doesn't even seem to notice. One more push. The door closes enough for the latch to catch. I throw the deadbolt. The infected is still trying to push in, but the door holds. They're all around the RV now, beating on it. And I don't care. I'm inside. I made it. I collapse on the floor, gasping, my heart trying to explode. The backpack is still on my shoulders, crushing me. I shrug it off and I just lie there, staring at the ceiling, listening to them outside. I did it. I got supplies. After my heart rate returns to something approaching normal, I drag myself to a sitting position and I inventory my haul. The backpack is stuffed full. 12 cans of food, soup, vegetables, chili, fruit cocktail, 8 bottles of water, a box of batteries, AA and AAA, a flashlight that actually works, a box of waterproof matches, 3 road flares, a box of .308 ammunition, which is useless because I don't have a .308 rifle, but maybe it'll be useful for something. Trade, if I ever meet other survivors who aren't trying to rob me. And outside, lying where I dropped them in my retreat, are 3 5-gallon gas cans, 15 gallons of fuel. The RV's tank holds about 30 gallons. I'm sitting at 14 gallons right now. If I could get those gas cans, I'd have enough fuel to drive for hours. Maybe find somewhere safer. Maybe find other survivors. Maybe find somewhere with food. But they're out there, surrounded by infected. I'd never get to them. I spend the rest of the day watching the gas cans from the window, mourning the fortune lying just 50 feet away and completely inaccessible. That night, I eat well for the first time in weeks. A full can of chili warmed on the stove. A can of fruit cocktail for dessert. I don't care about rationing anymore. I have supplies now. I bought myself time. How much time? A month, maybe? 6 weeks if I'm careful. And then what? I still don't think that far ahead. The days get shorter. The cold gets deeper. I'm running the furnace 4 hours a day now, 2 in the evening, 2 before dawn, and I can see the propane gauge dropping. I do the math every day. 10 days of propane left. 8. 5. The second propane tank runs dry on a night when the temperature drops to 18 degrees. I wake up at 3 a.m. shivering violently. The furnace has stopped. I try to start it and nothing happens. The tank is empty. I've got no more propane, no more heat. I spend the rest of that night wrapped in my sleeping bag, wearing every piece of clothing I own, shivering. By dawn, I can see my breath inside the RV. This changes everything. I can survive without much food. I can survive on limited water, but I can't survive freezing to death. The temperature inside the RV drops throughout the day, despite the sun. It gets to maybe 45 degrees by afternoon, which sounds survivable until you're living in it, breathing cold air, watching your fingers turn white. I've got to find a heat source. Or I've got to leave. I spend 2 days trying to solve the heat problem. I burn pages from the road atlas in the sink, trying to create warmth, but it's not enough, and I'm wasting paper I might need for something else. I pile every blanket and piece of clothing I can find on top of the sleeping bag at night. It helps, but not enough. On the 3rd day, I'm so cold I can barely think straight. My fingers are clumsy. My thoughts are slow. I recognize hypothermia symptoms from an article I read once. I'm in danger. That's when I remember the scavenger's truck. It had supplies. It might have more propane or blankets or something I can burn for heat. And those gas cans are still out there. I'm going back to the truck. This time, I'm smarter about it. I wait until afternoon when the infected are least active. I watch from the window and I count them. 5 visible in the area. I can handle 5. I dress in every layer I own. I take the tire iron. I take an empty backpack. I take one of the road flares from my first supply run. If things go bad, maybe I can use it as a distraction. I open the door and I step out into the cold afternoon. My breath fogs. The sky is overcast, threatening snow. The walk to the truck feels longer this time. Maybe because I'm weaker. Maybe because I'm colder. Maybe because I'm more aware of the stakes. I reach the truck without incident. The gas cans are still there, lying where I dropped them days ago. I grab the first one and I start dragging it back toward the RV. It's too heavy to carry, but I can drag it. 15 yards back toward the RV. 10. That's when I hear the engine. Another vehicle, a car this time, coming up the campground road. A sedan moving fast. It fishtails around the corner and comes to a stop near the burned RV. 2 people get out, a man and a woman. They're not infected, I can tell by the way they move. Purposeful and human. They're looking around frantically. The woman sees me. Our eyes meet across the campground. "Help!" she screams. "Please, help us!" Behind their car, emerging from the tree line like a wave, come the infected. Dozens of them, maybe 100. More than I've ever seen in one place. The man and woman run toward me. The infected run after them. I'm standing there, frozen, gas can at my feet, tire iron in hand, making a decision that will determine whether I live or die. Do I help them? Do I get back to my RV and lock the door? Do I run? The woman is maybe 30 yards away now. She's crying, running hard. The man is right behind her. Behind them, the infected are gaining. I make my choice. "Run!" I scream. "Get to the RV!" I grab the gas can and I start dragging it toward the RV as fast as I can. The couple reaches me. The man grabs the other side of the gas can, and together we haul it faster. We're at the RV. I throw open the door. The woman scrambles inside. The man and I heave the gas can up the steps. I'm climbing in, he's climbing in, and the infected are right there. I slam the door, throw the deadbolt, press my back against it. We made it. Barely. The infected hit the RV like a tsunami. The whole vehicle rocks on its suspension. There are so many of them. The windows are completely covered with their faces, their hands, their bodies pressing in. I turn to look at the 2 people I just saved. The woman is in her 30s, short dark hair, wearing yoga pants and a fleece jacket that's torn and bloody. The man is older, maybe 50, balding, wearing glasses that are cracked across one lens. They're both breathing hard, terrified. "Thank you," the woman gasps. Thank you. Are you bit?" I interrupt. It's the first thing I need to know. "Either of you, are you bit?" They look at each other. Then the man slowly pulls back his sleeve. There's a bite on his forearm, fresh, still bleeding. My blood turns to ice. "I'm sorry," he says. "I'm so sorry. It happened just before we got here. I didn't have a choice. I had to drive us." "Get out," I say. My voice doesn't sound like my own. "Get out right now." "Please," the woman begs. "Please, we have nowhere else to go. We just need—" "He's bit. He's going to turn. You have to leave." "No." The woman moves between me and the man. "You can't do this. Please. He's my husband. Please." I look at the man. He knows. I can see it in his eyes. He knows what's coming. He's already dying. How long has it been? I ask. Since the bite? 30 minutes, he says quietly. Maybe less. I've heard the stories. You turn fast from a bite, hours, sometimes less. I'm sorry, I say, and I mean it. But I can't let him stay. I can't risk it. The woman is crying now, holding her husband. Outside, the infected are still swarming, drawn by the commotion. There's nowhere for them to go, even if I force them out. They'd be torn apart in seconds. I'm trapped in my own RV with a man who's going to turn into one of those things. The afternoon stretches into evening. The three of us sit in the RV, not speaking, listening to the infected outside. The man, his name is David, I learn, is sitting at the dinette. His wife, Rebecca, is next to him, holding his hand. I'm at the front, by the driver's seat, tire iron in my lap. David is getting worse. I can see it. He's sweating despite the cold. His eyes are losing focus. He keeps touching the bite on his arm, wincing. How much time do I have? He asks quietly. I don't know, I tell him honestly. I've never seen anyone turn up close. He laughs, a bitter sound. First time for everything. Rebecca won't look at me. She's focused entirely on her husband, touching his face, his hair, memorizing him. We were in Sacramento, David says, his words slightly slurred. Apartment building. We lasted 2 months, ran out of food, had to try to get to a store. That's when he gestures at his arm. I'm sorry, I say again. Inadequate words. You did the right thing, he says, saving us. Even though he doesn't finish. Another hour passes. David is deteriorating rapidly. His skin is gray. His breathing is labored. He's not fully here anymore. It's happening, Rebecca whispers. Oh God, it's happening. David looks at me. There's still clarity in his eyes, but it's fading. Do it, he says, before I turn. Please. I stand up. The tire iron is heavy in my hand. No! Rebecca throws herself over her husband. You can't! Please don't! Please! Rebecca. David's voice is firm despite his condition. Rebecca, you have to let him. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to become one of those things. She's sobbing. I can't lose you. You already have, baby. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He pushes her away gently. He looks at me. Do it fast, he says. I step forward. Rebecca turns away, burying her face in her hands. David closes his eyes. I raise the tire iron. I've never killed a person before. Not really. The infected don't count. They're already dead. But David is still alive, still human. And he's asking me to end it. I bring the tire iron down. It's over quickly. David slumps in the dinette seat. Rebecca is screaming, but it's a broken sound, grief and horror mixed together. I back away, dropping the tire iron. My hands are shaking. I feel like I'm going to be sick. I'm sorry, I say for the third time. It doesn't help. Nothing helps. Rebecca cries for a long time. I give her space. There's nowhere else for either of us to go anyway. The infected are still outside, though their numbers have thinned. Some have wandered off into the darkness. Eventually, Rebecca stops crying. She's sitting on the floor, hugging her knees, staring at nothing. We have to move him, I say quietly. We can't keep him in here. I know, she whispers. We wait until after midnight, when the infected are less numerous. Then, together, we open the door and we drag David's body out. We don't go far, just down the steps and around the side of the RV. It's the best we can do. 2 infected notice us and start approaching. We're back inside with the door locked before they reach us. Rebecca collapses on the dinette bed. I sit in the driver's chair. Neither of us sleeps. Dawn comes slowly, gray light through the windows. The infected have mostly dispersed. I can see maybe 5 of them in the immediate area. Rebecca finally speaks. Thank you for letting us stay. You can't stay, I say. It comes out harsher than I intend. I don't have enough supplies for 2 people. She looks at me. Her eyes are hollow. Where am I supposed to go? I don't know. But you can't stay here. Please, her voice cracks. I have nowhere else. Everyone I knew is dead. My husband is dead. Please don't make me leave. I want to say yes. I want to help. But I've been alone for 3 months and I've calculated everything down to the last can of food. 2 people would cut my supplies in half. I'd run out twice as fast. But looking at her, at this woman who just lost everything, I can't force her out into the infected wasteland. 1 week, I hear myself say. You can stay for 1 week. Then you have to leave. She nods. Thank you. I don't feel thankful. I feel like I just made a terrible mistake. Rebecca sleeps most of the first day. I let her have the dinette bed. I sit in the driver's chair watching the campground, thinking about everything that's changed in the last 24 hours. I have a guest, a traumatized, grieving guest who I've promised to help, even though it might kill us both. When she wakes up, it's late afternoon. She sits up slowly, looking around the RV like she's trying to remember where she is. How long was I out? She asks. About 8 hours. She rubs her face. I had this crazy dream where none of this was real, where David and I were back in our apartment and everything was normal. She laughs bitterly. Stupid. Not stupid, I say. We sit in silence for a while. Then Rebecca says, I'm hungry. Do you have any food? I do, but not much. I get her a can of soup and a bottle of water. She eats slowly, mechanically, like she's forgotten how food works. What's your plan? She asks between bites. Are you just going to stay here until what? I finish. Until I run out of food? Until winter kills me? Until the infected figure out how to get inside? I shake my head. I don't have a plan. I'm just surviving. That's not sustainable, she says. I know. We should leave. Get in the RV and drive. Find somewhere better. Where? I gesture out the window. It's the same everywhere. Infected, empty towns, burned buildings. You don't know that. There could be safe zones, government strongholds, something. If there were, we'd have heard about it on the radio by now. There's nothing. It's all gone. Rebecca sets down the soup can. So what, we just give up? Wait here to die? What choice do we have? She doesn't answer, because she knows I'm right. There is no good choice. There's only less bad choices. And even those are running out. That night, we establish a routine. Rebecca takes the dinette bed. I sleep in the driver's chair, which is surprisingly comfortable when reclined. It's not much, but it works. The infected come with the darkness, as always. Rebecca is terrified the first night, watching them through the window gaps, but I assure her they can't get in. Probably can't get in. Almost certainly can't get in. It doesn't help much. The next morning, I inventory the supplies again, this time factoring in 2 people. The math is brutal. 9 cans of food left. That's 4.5 days if we each eat a can a day. 9 days if we split cans. 2 weeks if we eat even less. Water is less of a concern. I know I can get more from the lake, and Rebecca can help me. 2 people makes that trip safer. Propane is gone. We're dealing with the cold, but at least there are 2 of us now. Body heat helps more than I expected. We need more supplies, I tell Rebecca over our shared breakfast, half a can of fruit cocktail each. That truck might have more food, or there's a gas station about 5 miles down the highway. 5 miles? Rebecca looks skeptical. That's a long way to go. The RV has fuel. We could make it there and back. And drive through how many infected? There's a bull bar on the front. We can push through if we have to. Or we can go to the truck, Rebecca counters. It's right here. Less risk? She's right. But I've already stripped most of the accessible supplies from the truck. Still, there might be more inside the cab, in the glove compartment, under the seats. Okay, I agree. We'll check the truck first. Tomorrow morning. That afternoon, Rebecca finds the notebook where I've been writing. She reads some of it while I'm checking the battery levels. "You've been documenting everything," she says. "Yeah. Why?" I shrug. "Seemed important. Like someone should know what happened, how it ended." "It's not ended yet," she says firmly. "Not yet," I agree. But I'm thinking, soon. It'll end soon. That night we talk more. She tells me about her life before. She was a dental hygienist. David was an accountant. They'd been married for 8 years, no kids. They'd been trying. I tell her about Sarah and the divorce, the RV that was supposed to be my escape from a failing marriage and became my prison during the apocalypse. "Funny how things work out," Rebecca says darkly. "Hilarious," I agree. We check the truck the next morning, just after dawn. We move together, watching each other's backs. There are only 2 infected visible in the area, both down by the lake. The truck's cab is a horror show. I won't describe what we find, but we also find supplies. A duffel bag in the back seat with clothes, a first aid kit, 2 more boxes of ammunition, still useless without guns, and a box of granola bars. 10 granola bars. It's not much, but it's food. It's more time. We also managed to retrieve the other 2 gas cans I'd abandoned during the first supply run. We dragged them back to the RV one at a time, working as a team. It's amazing how much easier everything is with 2 people. By mid-morning, we're back in the RV, door locked, inventorying our haul. We bought ourselves maybe a week, I calculate. 10 days if we're careful. And then, Rebecca asks, then we have to leave, drive somewhere, try to find more supplies. Or people, she adds. Maybe we can find other survivors. Maybe, I say. But I don't believe it. Over the next few days, Rebecca and I fall into a routine. We take turns keeping watch. We share the limited food. We talk, sometimes for hours, about anything except the reality of our situation. She's smart, funny when she allows herself to be, strong. She's dealing with grief, but she's not letting it paralyze her. On the 4th day of her stay, she asks, "What happens after the week is up?" I've been dreading this question. "I don't know." "Can I stay?" she asks quietly. "Please. I know you said 1 week, but we don't have the supplies for 2 people long term," I interrupt. Then we leave. Together. We take the RV and we find somewhere with more supplies, or we find other people, or we just drive until we find something better than this. And if there's nothing better, then at least we'll have tried. At least we won't have just sat here waiting to starve. She's right. I know she's right. I've known it for weeks. Staying here is just slow suicide. "Okay," I say. "We leave tomorrow. Pack light. Bring everything useful." Relief floods her face. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet. We might drive straight into a horde." "Then we'll deal with it," she says. Together. That night, we prepare. We load the 3 gas cans into the RV's onboard storage. We organize the remaining food. We fill every available container with water, bottles, jugs, pots, even the dinette table's removable cup holders. We check the vehicle mechanically. The tires are good. The engine ran fine when I drove to the dump station. The fuel tank is half full, and with the extra 15 gallons in cans, we can drive for hundreds of miles if needed. We plot a route using my outdated road atlas. Highway 155 east, then north on Highway 14. There's a town called Lake Isabella about 10 miles out. We'll try there first. If it's overrun, we keep moving. "Are you scared?" Rebecca asks as we're settling in for the night. "Terrified," I admit. "Me too." Outside, the infected gather as always. But tomorrow, for the first time in 3 months, I'll be leaving this place, driving away from the campground that's been my prison. I don't know what we'll find out there. More infected, more death, maybe nothing at all. But staying here means certain death. At least out there, we have a chance. I sleep fitfully. Every sound makes me jolt awake. I keep imagining things going wrong. The engine won't start. The infected swarm us before we can get moving. The roads are impassable. Dawn comes too quickly. Gray light through the windows. Rebecca is already awake, sitting at the dinette, staring out the window. Ready? I ask. No, she says, but let's go anyway. We do one final check of the RV. Everything is secured. The propane valves are off. Not that it matters, we're out of propane. The water tank is full. The waste tanks are empty. I forced myself to make another dump station run 2 days ago, knowing we'd need the capacity for a long trip. I get into the driver's seat. Rebecca takes the passenger seat. We buckle our seat belts. I put the key in the ignition. My hand is shaking. Here we go, I say. I turn the key. The engine roars to life. Every infected in the area turns toward us immediately. I don't wait. I throw the transmission into drive and I press the gas. The RV surges forward. Infected are running toward us from all directions, but we're moving faster. I navigate through the campground, past the burned shell, past the Class A motorhome, past the scavenger's truck. The campground road opens onto the main highway. I turn right, heading east. The road ahead is relatively clear. A few abandoned cars, but nothing we can't navigate around. Rebecca is gripping the door handle, watching out her window. There's so many of them, she breathes. She's right. The trees on both sides of the road are thick with infected. They're emerging onto the highway, drawn by the sound of the engine. Within a minute, we're driving through a gauntlet of the dead. I accelerate to 40 miles per hour. When infected stumble into our path, the RV's bull bar pushes them aside. I feel each impact through the steering wheel. Try not to think about it. Town ahead, Rebecca calls out. Lake Isabella, a small mountain town that was probably quaint and peaceful before the world ended. Now it's a graveyard. Buildings are burned, cars are overturned, bodies in the street, and infected everywhere. Hold on, I say. I accelerate to 50-60 miles per hour. The RV shakes, but it holds together. Infected bounce off the sides. The windshield cracks from an impact, but doesn't shatter. We're through the town in under a minute. The road ahead curves north, following the lake shore. Where are we going? Rebecca asks. Away, I say. Just away. We drive for an hour. The road climbs into the mountains, winding through pine forests. The infected are fewer up here. The cold, maybe. Or just fewer people to begin with. The fuel gauge drops slowly. We're using fuel, but we've got plenty. The engine runs smooth. For the first time in 3 months, I feel something like hope. Then the road ahead ends in a wall of abandoned vehicles, a massive pileup, completely blocking both lanes. There's no way through. I brake to a stop 50 yards from the blockade. Now what? Rebecca asks. I check the map. This highway was our main route north. The alternatives involve backtracking or finding Forest Service roads that might be impassable. We could try to move some of the cars, Rebecca suggests. With what? We don't have a winch, we don't have a truck. Then we backtrack. Find another route. I'm about to agree when I hear it. An engine. Multiple engines. 3 vehicles come around the bend behind us. Pickup trucks, moving fast. They see us and they don't slow down. They're coming right for us. Drive, Rebecca screams. But there's nowhere to drive. The road ahead is blocked. The trucks are behind us. We're boxed in. The trucks stop 20 yards back, blocking our retreat. 6 men get out, all carrying rifles. Get out of the RV, one of them shouts. Now, hands where we can see them. Rebecca and I look at each other. This is it. After everything, we're going to be robbed and killed by other survivors. What do we do? Rebecca whispers. I look at the men with rifles. I look at the blocked road ahead. I look at the forest on either side, thick with trees, maybe a chance to run. Probably a death sentence. We get out, I say. Slowly, hands up. Maybe we can talk to them. And if we can't, then we're dead anyway. We open the doors and step out of the RV, hands raised. The cold mountain air bites at my exposed skin. The 6 men approach, rifles trained on us. Who are you? The lead man asks. He's tall, maybe 40, with a thick beard. His rifle never wavers from pointing at my chest. Nobody, I say. Just trying to survive. In a nice RV full of supplies, another man says, walking around our vehicle, peering in the windows. Looks pretty well stocked to me. We don't want trouble, Rebecca says. We're just passing through. The bearded man laughs. Passing through to where, honey? There is nowhere. The whole world is infected. We're the only organized group left in this region. Organized? I ask. We control everything within 30 miles. These roads, these mountains. We've got a compound with walls, guards, supplies. We survived by being smart and strong. And by taking what you need from others? Rebecca's voice is sharp. The bearded man shrugs. We take what we need to survive, just like everyone else. Now here's how this works. You give us your RV, your supplies, and everything in it. In exchange, we let you walk away. That's not an exchange, I say. That's robbery. Call it what you want, it's happening. And if we refuse, Rebecca asks, the bearded man's expression doesn't change. Then you don't walk away. One of the other men has opened the RV door and is climbing inside. I hear him moving around, opening cabinets. Looks like they've got food, water, some fuel, he calls out. Not much, but better than nothing. Take it all, the bearded man orders. Load it in the trucks. Rebecca and I stand there, watching helplessly as they strip the RV. They take every can of food, every bottle of water, the gas cans, the batteries, even the sleeping bag and spare clothes. Within 10 minutes, the RV is empty. They've taken everything except the vehicle itself. Why not take the RV too? I ask. The bearded man grins. Because the RV uses too much fuel and the roads are shit. Can't maneuver it worth a damn when the infected come. You can keep it. Won't do you much good without supplies, but hey, at least you've got shelter. You're going to leave us to die, Rebecca says flatly. I'm giving you a chance, more than most get. You've got a vehicle. You've got a tank of gas. Drive back the way you came. Maybe you'll find something. Maybe you'll find somewhere safe. He shoulders his rifle. Or maybe you won't. Either way, not my problem. The men get back in their trucks. Engines start. They drive past us, heading toward the roadblock. One of the trucks has a winch. They're going to clear the road and continue north. They disappear around the bend. Rebecca and I stand in the road, next to our empty RV in the cold mountain air. What now? She asks. I look at the RV. We still have the vehicle. We still have maybe half a tank of fuel. They didn't siphon the fuel tank, just took the gas cans. We still have the water filtration system. We still have each other. We survive, I say. That's what we do. We survive. But inside, I'm not sure anymore. Maybe this is the end. Maybe we just don't know it yet. We get back in the RV. The interior looks naked without all our supplies. Empty cabinets hanging open, nothing in the fridge, nothing in the storage bins. I start the engine and I turn the RV around. It takes some careful maneuvering. The road is narrow, but I manage it. We drive south, back the way we came. Where are we going? Rebecca asks after a few miles. I don't know. Back to the campground, maybe. At least we know that area. There's nothing there. There's nothing anywhere. We drive in silence. The fuel gauge drops steadily. Quarter tank now. We'll run out soon. As we pass through Lake Isabella again, driving more slowly this time, conserving fuel, Rebecca suddenly grabs my arm. Stop! I brake. What? There. She's pointing at a building on the side of the road. That's a grocery store. It is. A small mountain grocery. Windows smashed, doors hanging open. Almost certainly looted, probably full of infected. It's been picked clean, I say. You don't know that, and we don't have a choice. We have no food, no water. We have to try. She's right. Again. We have nothing to lose except our lives, and those are forfeit anyway without supplies. I pull the RV into the parking lot, and I kill the engine, saving fuel. We go in together, I say. We're quiet. We're fast. At the first sign of infected, we run. Agreed. We get out of the RV. I grab the tire iron, our only weapon. Rebecca finds a broken piece of wood in the parking lot, a makeshift club. The grocery store looms before us, dark, and empty looking. The automatic doors are stuck open. Inside, I can see overturned shelves, scattered products, the general chaos of a looting. We step through the door. The store is dark. Only dim light filters through the broken windows. It smells like rot and decay. We move slowly down the first aisle. Shelves are mostly empty, but here and there, we find things that were missed. A can of soup, dented and label torn, hiding under a shelf. A box of crackers, crushed but sealed. A jar of peanut butter. We stuff them into our pockets. It's not much, but it's something. We're in the canned goods aisle when we hear it. Movement from the back of the store, shuffling, moaning. They're here. Go, I whisper. Fast. Grab what you can and go. We split up. Rebecca moves deeper into the store, toward what looks like the pharmacy section. I head toward the checkout area, hoping to find something useful behind the counter. I find a cardboard box hidden under the register. Inside are candy bars, Snickers, Milky Ways, Twix, probably 50 of them. Someone's stash that they never retrieved. I grab the whole box and I turn to leave. That's when I see her. An infected woman standing at the end of the aisle. She's wearing a grocery store uniform. She might have worked here before. She sees me. Her mouth opens in that characteristic moan, and she starts moving toward me. I run. The box is awkward and heavy, but I hold on to it. Behind me, I can hear more infected responding to the moan, joining the chase. "Rebecca!" I scream. "Run! Now!" She appears from a side aisle, arms full of bottles. Water, I realize. She found bottled water. We sprint for the exit together. The infected are pouring from the back of the store now. 10, 15, more. We're not going to make it. We burst through the door and into the parking lot. The RV is 50 feet away. Might as well be a mile. Go! I shout at Rebecca. She's faster than me. She reaches the RV first, yanks open the door, throws the water bottles inside. I'm right behind her. 10 feet, 5. Hands grab my jacket from behind. I spin and swing the tire iron, still holding the box of candy bars in my other arm. The tire iron connects with something and I break free. I'm at the RV. I throw the candy box inside and I'm climbing the steps when more hands grab me. I'm being pulled backward, off the steps, and I know this is it. Then Rebecca is there. She's grabbed my arm and she's pulling me forward with surprising strength. The hands lose their grip. I fall forward into the RV and Rebecca slams the door. I scramble to the driver's seat, key in the ignition. Engine starts. The infected are surrounding us, beating on the RV, but I don't care. I drive forward, pushing through them, and we're out of the parking lot and back on the highway. We don't stop for 5 miles. When I finally pull over, both of us are shaking. That was... Rebecca starts. She doesn't finish, can't finish. Yeah, I agree. We inventory what we got. 3 cans of soup, a box of crackers, a jar of peanut butter, 50 candy bars, and 20 bottles of water. It's not much, maybe a week of supplies if we're careful, but it's better than nothing. It's hope. We make a good team, Rebecca says, managing a weak smile. Yeah, I say, we do. We keep driving south. The fuel gauge is warning us now. 1/8 of a tank left, maybe 30 miles. We need to find somewhere to settle fast. The campground appears ahead, our starting point. It looks exactly the same as when we left this morning. Abandoned RVs, burned shells, infected wandering aimlessly. But it's familiar. It's defensible. We know the layout. Here, Rebecca asks. Here, I confirm. I pull the RV back into our original spot. Turn off the engine. We're home, such as it is. That night we eat dinner, a candy bar each and a bottle of water. It's not much, but it tastes like victory. What's the plan now? Rebecca asks. Survive, I say. Same as always. We use what we have. We make trips for more supplies when we can. We watch each other's backs. And when we run out again, we'll figure it out. Outside, the infected gather as always. But inside the RV, in the darkness, Rebecca and I sit together. Two people against the end of the world. It's not much, but for now, it's enough. The days blur together again. Rebecca and I fall into a new routine. We ration the supplies carefully, 1 candy bar each per day, plus a can of soup split between us, a bottle of water each. We're always hungry, always thirsty, but we're alive. The RV becomes our world again. Tiny, cramped, but safe. We make another supply run a week later, this time to a different building in town, a gas station. We find motor oil, some tools, a bag of beef jerky that's probably expired, but we don't care. Every calorie counts. We also find something else, a radio. A real CB radio, portable, with batteries. We bring it back to the RV and we scan through the channels. Static. Static. More static. Then, on channel 19, a voice. This is Emergency Broadcast Station Alpha. If you can hear this, there's a safe zone established in Bishop, California. Coordinates 3736 hour degree N 119 grube. The facility is secure and has food, water, and medical supplies. Make your way to Bishop. Repeat, make your way to Bishop. The message loops, same information over and over, automated. Rebecca and I look at each other. Bishop, she says, that's maybe 50 miles north of here. If the road isn't blocked. If the compound even exists. If it's not a trap. We sit in silence, listening to the broadcast loop. Do we try? Rebecca finally asks. I think about the men who robbed us. Their organized group with walls and guns and no mercy. Think about every terrible thing I've seen in the last 3 months, but I also think about what's here. Slow starvation. Slow death from cold or infected, or simply giving up. We try, I decide. Tomorrow. We'll take what supplies we have and we'll try. Rebecca nods. Together. Together, I agree. That night I write in the notebook one more time. I document everything. The campground, the supply runs, David's death, the robbery, the grocery store, the radio message. Everything. If we don't make it, maybe someone will find this notebook someday. Maybe they'll know what happened here. Or maybe not. Maybe it doesn't matter. But I write it anyway. Because I'm still human. Because the story still matters, even if no one reads it. Because we're not dead yet. Dawn comes, cold and clear. Rebecca and I load the RV with our limited supplies. We check the engine, check the tires, check the fuel. Quarter tank, maybe 30 miles. Not enough to get to Bishop and back, but enough to get there. If we make it, we stay. If we don't make it, it won't matter. I start the engine one more time, the familiar roar. Rebecca buckles in next to me. Ready? I ask. No, she says. But let's go anyway. I drive out of the campground, heading north toward Highway 395, toward Bishop, toward whatever waits for us there. The infected watch us go. They don't chase. They just stand there, swaying as we drive away. Behind us, the campground disappears in the rearview mirror. 3 months of survival, of fear and hunger and cold nights, all of it left behind. Ahead is the road, endless asphalt, and somewhere, maybe, a safe zone. Other survivors, a future, or maybe just more death, more infected, more empty roads leading nowhere. Either way, we're moving. We're not waiting to die anymore. The highway stretches ahead of us, and the sun breaks through the clouds, and for just a moment, I let myself hope. We drive.